Nothing is planned. Go where the winds take you. Just make sure you have a good ship and a good sail and people that love you along the way. I believe in simple, big ideas that sell. Anything else is a waste of money. Take your path, but at the same time, learn from what the others have done. But to tell you the truth, the only luxury is inside here, peace of mind, and the beautiful people that would sort of share that peace of mind with you. Google is my mentor because you Google something and you get the advice and you say, okay, I'll go follow this guy's ideas. Shibha Shibha Shibha.
I am your host Gaurav Garg and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Mr. Sari Salibi. He is an advisor at the private office of Your Highness Sheikh Ahmed Bin Faisal Al Qassimi, Dubai. He is a proactive, performance-driven professional with 20 plus years of experience leading innovative marketing building initiatives in a variety of corporate environments, deep real communication, advertising and social media expertise. It's a pleasure to welcome Mr. Sari Salibi to our show Amazing Mentor. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
So tell us about your childhood and memories you still cherish.
Well, my childhood was a little bit a happy childhood, definitely with nice parents, beautiful parents. But unfortunately, I was living in a war zone, Beirut. So yes, it was mixed with lots of insecurities, fear, and what have you, but I eventually survived. So, but definitely the family, the nucleus, was a beautiful nucleus, and it still continues.
So what was your dream profession as a child? And was it constant or keep on changing by seeing the inspirational people around?
Personally, funny enough, I never had a dream job. Actually, I was either busy staying alive, but at the same time, I was interested in the arts and in drawing and in so many other things that when eventually I went to the university, I was practically involved in everything of that sort. So I thought that go ahead and start your life without planning too much, because if there's any diversions, you just go right or left. But if you have, let's say, I want to become an engineer, and everybody wants you to become an engineer or something, and then no, you'll end up not doing the right choice at the right moment. Yeah.
So any school or college memories that you would like to share with us, which is notorious in nature?
Well, at school we used to play World War II, I guess, and I was Hitler. And my friends were, from Soviet Union and such. It was an interesting era of that life. And then again, it was, I think, in the late 60s, early 70s. So those games are forgiven, as they say. But notorious, no, I was a peaceful guy. I always believed that, okay, I may be sarcastic, ironic, but maybe I stayed away from being aggressive or inflicting any sort of harm to anybody, unwittingly.
So who was your inspiration as a child?
I think the only inspiration that affected me, and I say it all the time, is my mother. Because she happened to instill in me this peaceful and this love-caring and forgiveness. She taught me one basic thing, which is to forgive. And this surpasses all religions and everything. To forgive is the best thing. She's Armenian, and she was telling me, it's time that we start forgiving. And it was amazing because she's the only Armenian that's willing to sort of forgive. But she's a wonderful woman. She was.
So where did you start your career journey from?
Okay, interesting enough. I was in Lebanon, there was a war, so I kept on studying, and then eventually I finished my first master's degree in horticulture and agriculture engineering because, don't ask me why, but the thing is, everybody says, you have to be an engineer, go for engineering. So I said architecture. I went to the American University of Beirut, applied, and they said, sorry, but your math is not that great. So would you go for engineering, agriculture engineering? I said yes. I should have at that stage moved into communication at another university, but American University of Beirut was the thing. So I went there and I finished the BS and I finished the master's, 128 credits. I even eventually went to the States and I ended up starting a PhD, and then I found that the plants, they appreciate my humor, but not that much. So I said, that's it. I was 23, so I went back to Lebanon. I did something interesting, not that interesting. And then eventually I got another master's and I went to the States and I studied journalism and communication. combining those together, it was a good journey. So my career started, funny enough, immediately I was appointed as a director, ecumenical director for an organization, and that's it. And then somebody called me and said, why don't you come and, sell chicken from Chicago all the way to the Middle East, Pakistan, India. And I did that. And then another friend called me and said, stop selling chicken, come and do some real creative work. I joined Saatchi and Saatchi. And then a third friend said, stop doing logos, come and do some real estate. So my life was immediately on high posts. And this is what I tell everybody. Nothing is planned to a great extent. Go where the winds take you. Just make sure you have a good ship and a good sail. And people that love you along the way.
So what were your initial challenges you faced while starting your professional journey?
As I said, I've been into so many fields. The challenge was find where's the nicest place that I would really enjoy it. But being the good communicator and such, the challenges were actually, there were interesting encounters. So there were not really challenges. The only challenge was when I was in the States or somewhere else, my parents were, how can I be with them when I'm very far away? And that was it. Work-wise, definitely I learned along the way, most of the people I worked with, either they were in the wrong place or I was in the wrong place many times. So, and I found out something else, that every organization, company, they have the same people. You say, oh, I'm not happy here. There's this guy who's, and this guy, and the boss is, and if you go to another company, you'll find a replica of each of those people there. So I would suggest, and again, I would tell people, stay for a company for a while, be loyal, but always keep your tentacles out, because at the end of the day, if you go in on this level, most companies will continue to see you on this level. So if you stay 5 years, 6 years, they will see you as an entry level to a great extent. But if you go to another company, you're taking all this experience and they see you on a higher level, and so on and so forth. This is how my challenges were. Actually, the first job that I changed was when my wife said, Sari, you're underpaid, you're not appreciated. I told her, yeah, but they're not doing very well in this country. And she said, why should you that much care? Other companies will give you much more. I went to another company, they gave me triple the salary. And from there, I thought that if you don't appreciate or you are not appreciated, move.
So you have been in many countries. So what similarity and differences do you feel in personal life and in work culture in different countries?
I come from a huge source of gene pool. I'm half Armenian, quarter Italian, Lebanese, born in Bethlehem where Jesus was born, became an American, married an Estonian. So I was exposed to many family because it's so mixed. You get to understand the higher level of humanity, the prejudices and these are sadly implanted in the kids as they grow up. So I was brought up, love and serve. And this is Hard Rock Cafe, but it's not Hard Rock Cafe, but love and serve. This is all what it's all about. This is my motto. Go and help people along the way.
So what are the work culture differences you feel in different countries?
Now, coming to Dubai, where you have 126 different cultures, and very interestingly, after a while you say, okay, these people have these characteristics. And these people, people tell you, these people, be careful, they are blah, blah. And these people are blah. Yes, they may have. But then take the individual as an individual. I always preach for emotional intelligence. Okay, they tell you this is a Filipino guy. Fine. And Filipinos are creative, and I say, okay, that's fine, but let's take that person as a person first. And then you'll find out how amazing. Many cultures have this common thing, which is goodness. I always reach out for the goodness in any culture. Definitely, it's interesting when you work for Koreans. I had the pleasure of working as VP in the Middle East and Africa for Samsung Chail Communication. Again, lovely people, but again, it's a different sort of culture. I go to the office, it's an advertising agency, and you see them all very, very serious. And I say, good morning, how are you? And, they look at me like, okay, what's wrong with this guy? So definitely cultures differ. And as I said, emotional intelligence is a crucial thing that they should teach everybody, not to fake emotions, but at least to be sensitive to other people's. So cultural differences, look for the common denominator. Okay.
So what inspired you to join advertising, and how was the shift from advertising to client side?
It's paradise moving from. You see, I started in advertising as a creative director with Saatchi immediately after selling chicken, but because my friend knew that I was very creative, still creative, and so I went to Saudi and I created lots of beautiful stuff. And it was beautiful because once somebody has a problem, they want to create a solution, I'm there. And my creativity is not into the doing of commercials and such only, but strategic creativity. And I'm a cartoonist, caricaturist, so all these things come to play. And even some of my good advertising had lots of agriculture in them. And I have this motto: I believe in simple, big ideas that sell. Anything else is a waste of money, the clients.
Any thought of starting your entrepreneur journey?
Everybody told me, Sari, please, what are you doing? Start your own thing. I tell them I will start my own thing, but I haven't. Because I felt I don't want to go into more headache of starting my own thing and knocking on people's doors, and you talk and you advise, not many listen. So yes, when somebody said leave the agency side and go to the client, and it was real estate, so it was a good move. And when we had presentations for advertising, they come and sit down and say, guys, I'm on your side. So I'm going to make it simple for you. I understand that you've been asked to present, but here are the facts. I mean, I was honest with them, just telling them that you are here, but most likely we'll not be taking you on board. So it was, but I was honest, and I knew how much they suffered. And now the advertising scene has changed. Everybody now is a graphic designer. You go and present. I mean, when I used to present to a client and he says, my daughter did this, is it nice? I say, yeah, it's nice. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. And these days you're presenting to a client. I mean, and then the guy is looking at his internet, Googling your idea that you have just given him. And he said, look, it's very similar to this. And I say, okay, fine. That means it's a good idea. So that's why on the client side, you are actually, first of all, economically better for the client. And at the same time, if you have what it takes, what the heck? And then something very important. I did commercials, I did things, and then I found out that there's something lacking. I wanted to do something that is of value, not just selling products and services. And this is where I went into another area where I created my own brand and such. But if anything happens, I would love to teach. I taught creativity at one point at the university. I would like to teach. And I think Africa, many other places, they would love to have somebody who can, shake their foundation and tell them, guys, take your path, but at the same time, learn from what the others have done.
So you have vast experience of 20 plus creates here. How was your journey till date?
I had no expectation. I floated. Maybe others, as I said, I had friends who said, by the age of 35, I want to have a Porsche. I never said that. But I had very nice cars as they came. And as my mother used to say, things will come to you. They may not come to you when you want them, but they will come to you eventually. And that has been the case ever since. The journey has been good. I touch lots of people's lives, mostly positively. And it has been a good journey. If I change anything, maybe I wouldn't have studied agriculture. But it's a good thing. There's a saying in Arabic. People say when somebody is talking and they tell him, what do you know about agriculture? This is like a saying. So now if somebody says, what are you talking about? What do you know about agriculture? I tell them I have a master's degree. Yeah, the journey has been interesting, and I hope the journey will continue. And staying in a peaceful environment. There is no peaceful environment, unfortunately.
So one thing you miss about Lebanon in Dubai?
My family. I mean, my sisters. My brother passed away last year, unfortunately. And so I'm now the guardian father of his beautiful kid, Angelo, who's 11. And as well, my niece's husband passed away because of COVID. and she has two beautiful kids. And again, I'm now somehow the helping her along the journey. So what I miss is family. Other than that, Dubai is a great city. It's a great city. But once you've done Dubai, you've got the T-shirt. So now you're looking for. I would like to be in an area where I wake up in the morning, do some gardening, and write things and create things. And now I'm into doodling, and this doodling have evolved into NFTs. So it's like there's lots to offer, and you don't know that you have it. So keep searching.
So what's your definition of luxury?
Luxury. It's an illusion. When I was in Dubai, everybody had cars, they had watches. I bought my watch, I bought my cars. I bought 68 cars on my life. And then once I sold a car before going to the States, and I felt so bad I couldn't sleep after a few hours, a few days. So I called the guy, my friend, and told him, please give it back, sell it back to me. I'll pay you even more. And he said, I got attached to it. I told him, I am attached to it. And from that day, I said, I will never be materialistic. So yes, I had lots of luxurious stuff. I've been around lots of people who float in luxury, and I was part of it. But to tell you the truth, the only luxury is inside here, peace of mind, and the beautiful people that would sort of share that peace of mind with you.
So was it easy to adjust in Dubai?
It's very easy, but you have to know that most women in Dubai are not running away from something or seeking something that is not present where they are. So they're very tough, they're very beautiful, they're very equipped with education or what have you. And the guys that come to Dubai are here to sort of have fun and at the same time work and make money. So it's an interesting combination, because if somebody is expecting to find a serious relationship and a normal life, it's not in Dubai.
So who is your mentor in life?
I didn't need mentors. Because I managed to somehow mentor myself. Of course, as I said, you have to have basics, you have to have a little bit of intelligence and a little bit of sense of humor, then everything becomes clear. Mentoring is definitely, I had some people who sort of told me do this. Let's say one person who I really care for, he said, as a business development director, don't grow your beard, because this is... and then I told him, yeah, you might be right, but now everybody is with beards. So you have mentors, you take what you want from everywhere in the world, and now there's Google. Google is my mentor, because you Google something and you get the advice and you say, okay, I'll go follow this guy's ideas.
So what was the craziest idea you have worked on when you were in advertising?
Yes, there were many crazy ideas, but the first idea that I did, and it was crazy and new in Lebanon and in the region, I did competitive advertising. There was a textile company called Werde. Werde means rose. And the new people that came into the market, they called Linea Verde, the green line. So they went to many agencies, and they asked them an arm and a leg, and they showed them, fancy stuff like the other Verde guy did. So I came, they went in, and I said, okay, very simply. And I come with the ideas immediately. The first ideas that I come up with, they're solid. They're strong. So I told them very simply, and the idea cost nothing. Peanuts. I got a rose, and then the beautiful footage, and then eventually there was a high soprano. It was Shibha Shibha Shibha, and then the petals, they all went, leaving the green line, and then Linea Verde, an enduring passion. So this was like, everybody was, oh my God, this guy is attacking another brand, but it was good. And I did another commercial for the same brand. I got a lady to go to church. She goes in with the pack of Linea Verde material. She goes to the confession booth, and she started, tearing it up. And the priest is like, he doesn't know what's going on. So he starts sweating. And then it was, again, something that it was very daring, because the government is very particular about such things and religions. But after I put this ad on and they accepted it, you had lots of ads that related to the religion, like this priest that was eating pasta, and then there's a light from God says, what are you eating? And he takes and he continues eating. That means, so anyways, it was a nice, interesting Crazy idea. And then, as I said, it's not crazy if crazy to an extent where it harms the product or the people at the end of the day.
So, what are your roles and responsibilities as advisor at the private office of Your Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Faisal Al Qassimi?
It's simple. I advise. Whether they listen or they don't, it's something else. But my role, like many advisors that are within the office, is to receive the influx of, oh my God, the influx of people who have ideas and who want either to work or they want help money-wise. And I do my best to answer them in a very interesting way. And the ones that persist on somebody who is looking for a job, I say, okay, this is the best way to go for a job. Send me your CV. Let me have a look at it. I look at it and I tell them it needs improvement. Do this. Google a job offer. You cannot be applying for a driver, caterer, marketing in one CV. So he says, okay, I understand. And then he keeps sort of asking if I can help him be employed. So it's a very, but then again, I understand many people are, but here they see the title and some of them call me Your Majesty or Your Honor. It's like, it's amazing how sometimes I say, just go to a nice village and spend the rest of your life there. But I'm still young, no?
So what was the easiest and more difficult decision which you have made in your career life?
I was working with uncle of ruler of Qatar, very nice guy, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, very nice guy, married to a Lebanese, and his wife's name Rita, and my wife was Rita. So I left because all the projects that we initiated were cancelled. And he didn't mind, he said, stay. But again, staying and really not being productive is not my thing. So I moved on. And a few years later, all the projects started moving again. So it's not a regret, but I should have maybe stayed there longer. But again, the nice thing about whenever I leave a place, I'm always welcome back, So that's don't burn bridges. So decisions, yes, there were, but no regrets. I mean, really no regrets, because as I say, life is like a car. You have a big windshield in front of you, and there's a small rear window for the back. That tells you something. Look ahead. I mean, every now and then look back, regret, blah, blah, but look ahead, you might find another station down the road.
So if you get hold of time machine, which phase of your life would you like to roll back?
Okay, they always say the good old days. The good old days is because I was young, because they were young. But again, it's beautiful. Live the moment. And I've been reading some books recently. Live the moment. So if I take a time machine, I leave it there and make the present something that is interesting. Because here in your present, you have lots of people that you have connected with, you love, you care. Would you want to leave them and go back to another time machine? And as I said, those were the good old days because we were young.
So what all are do's and don'ts you would suggest to young generation while starting their professional lives?
There's something very interesting. The influx of information to everybody allows people to think, and to not only think, they know that they have the information that only few kept. And even in a work environment, you go there and you say, oh, look at my boss, he's stupid, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's going to change. Managers should not only be knowledgeable or even less knowledgeable, but they should be able to, delegate and empower. So my advice to the new people is, yes, the world is changing. Yes, there are people who should be moving out. I'm one of them. But at the same time, take your time. Take your time. Learn to a great extent. Help others and empower others. It is a competition. But again, teamwork, and I'm saying team in any sense. You cannot go into life without your wife. You cannot go into life without your people in the office. Sometimes I used to invite the coffee boy inside the meeting, and I, share with him the brief in front of everybody. And everybody would say, why would you, ask I said, because he may shed an idea that is out of the box. And that person did give a beautiful idea, and it was beautiful. So I advise these people, there's no harm changing your profession along the way. Take your time after you graduate. Don't rush into finding a job. The problem is we teach our kids. I don't, because I don't have kids. And at the same time, they say, get good grades so you can get into a good university. In the university, you get good grades so that you can find a job that pays well. And then eventually, after 30 years, they give you a gold watch. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, merci. No. Find your passion. Definitely work towards it. Definitely have an education that will back you up in times of uncertainties. So my degree as an engineer, and I said, okay, it's agriculture, but at the same time, there's always going to be fallback on food, on production and such. And actually it worked, because with both degrees, I managed to get the green card in the States. So it pays. Calculate, but don't over-calculate. Flow. Just have a good ship, have a good sail, and hopefully you'll reach many ports.
Advice to youngsters who particularly want to join advertising.
It's changing. Advertising agencies are changing by the hour. Now everybody's talking digital or whatever. If you're a creative guy, good. You could have. You see, when I got into Saatchi, after a year, my value went so high because it was Saatchi. I was very creative for the past 3-4 years, but there was no word of Saatchi. So yes, choose an agency that will add to your credibility, even if it does not add to your existing talents. So yes, that's, I would say, don't go into advertising. Don't go into advertising. Go on the client side. Okay, go for a couple of years, learn the trade. But now everything is digital. Everybody now is creative. Everybody could come up with ideas. Unfortunately, so the format of an advertising agency has changed to a communication agency. And when I was with Saatchi, I came up with the idea. And then 2 years they launched it. The idea agency. And this is where, if I want to start something now, I want to be the idea agency, and I go sit with anybody, whatever he wants to discuss, I will have the ideas from. So yes, I wouldn't say go to advertising agencies. I say go and study something that is a bit more than, especially if on the creative side, you can do it separately. And if you're on the account handling side, like being the servant, go back and forth, I would say do it for a year, but then move on to the client side.
So how can a person join advertising if he or she does not have any past experience?
I didn't have any past experience when I got to be a creative director with Saatchi in Saudi. But you have a reputation, okay? And this reputation, if it reaches the right people who are hiring, they take you. And definitely, as I said, if you do training at a company, an agency that is good, that immediately will take your CV from one level to the other. He had a training at Saatchi and Saatchi. We'll take him. I mean, that's the idea. It's like you have to take a step or two before somebody takes you in the elevator.
So why not to join advertising?
Because the concept of advertising has changed. So I think it should be communication. Communication, yes. Go into communication. But advertising, it's changed. It's changed. Like you say, I want to do an ad campaign. Okay, but now, no, you do reality TV, you do this, you do that. So the concept has changed. So why change? Why go into something like that will not exist most likely in the coming few years?
So now we will start a rapid round.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Your favorite actor and actress?
Grace Kelly and Will Smith. Yeah, he's good.
Your favorite color?
Red and black. Red because I'm an Aries. Black because I became a Scorpio.
Your favorite destination?
Amsterdam. And the second one is home.
Your favorite car?
I love Mercedes. So I had a Pagoda, 2-seaters, old 1962. That was my favorite car.
Things in your wish list?
Again, there's no wish list. I don't yearn for anything. No wish list. Be ready to embrace what you see. rather than I want to go to the Great Canyon and see it. I went to the Great Canyon. I looked at it, says, okay, let's go. So there's no wish list. Again, happiness is within. Be happy, be content, and then things will look beautifully as you go around. You don't have to seek a place.
Your dream house.
This is something else I would say. House is good, but a home is much better. So I have 2 houses. I had 3. I sold one here because of cash restrictions. And yeah, I mean, it's good to have a house. It's good to have, okay, this is my house. They used to tell me, I was 47. I didn't have any houses myself. And they said, come on, you should have a house and this is good. And I said, okay, the house is a liability first. And then at the end of the day, I don't feel that my house now is mine. And I don't want it to be mine. I gave it to my niece to live in with the kids. The other one, I rent it out for some income. Frankly speaking, maybe because of my movements and because of the war and insecurities, houses, materialistic stuff, don't mean anything.
Second choice of career.
Psychiatrist. I would love to now. I am now doing lots of life coaching, but without a degree.
If you get superpower, what would be that one thing that you would like to change?
Have all kids be taught the same thing. Everybody, no prejudices. This is a power. Let's say, and this is where maybe you go in. You are united by finding the common denominator. I will use that power. And unfortunately, man is a hunter, so there's always going to be fighting. But yeah, peace, world peace, whatever. But then again, it's hopeless.
At last, one line that defines you.
You can say Sari Salibi has a sense of humor that is very much needed in this world. Sense of humor, sometimes ironic, sarcastic, which are the lowest levels. But yeah, I'm a sarcastic person, but a very loving and caring person.
So thank you very much for your time. And if I need to define you in one line, that would be basically live your present and leave your materialistic thing around. So that would be my definition for you. As per
exactly. Live the present, be kind to the people around you. And as I said, things will come to you at the right time. And the things that you desire now may not be something that you want a few days from now. Let's say my nephew, he wants chocolate and then when I bring him chocolate, let's say, not chocolate, but, and I bring him the thing, he plays with it and then he puts it aside and that's it. So, I mean, people's feelings, desires change a long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Amazing Mentor. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get regular updates.